If you love seeing movies with nice stunts, the crane kick will definitely give you chills. I mean, the move is cool and sometimes gives the feeling, should I try doing this too? Well, don't. The Karate Kid and Cobra Kai movies actually feature some crane kicks, which hit well. Watch this video to the end to get the full details of how this move was severely used and learned, and also when it was missed. As for the crane kick and how it was introduced in the Karate Kid, the Karate Kid franchise's most recognizable stunt is the crane kick. The crane has been used severally in different scenarios and almost always succeeds. The crane kick, which only ever ended in failure just once, featured many times in the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. The crane kick is most famously connected with Daniel LaRusso, who utilized it in the Karate Kid to defeat Johnny Lawrence in the 1984 All-Valley Under-18 Karate Championship. Since then, the crane has appeared in the Karate Kid films and Cobra Kai a couple more times and has been mentioned several times. In the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, the karate master played by Noriyuki Pat Morita, who actually did not know any about karate in real life, was subtly watched by Daniel-san while he practiced the crane kick from a stump on the beach. After this, he learned the move from his sensei. When they were young, Mr. Miyagi and his best buddy Sato were trained in Miyagi-Do karate by their father, who taught Mr. Miyagi the move. The move was a component of the self-defense method Shimpo Sensei, Miyagi's ancestor, was brought back to Okinawa from China and developed into Miyagi-Do karate. Other Miyagi-Do senseis, including Chozen Chiguchi, are aware of the crane, although Daniel and Mr. Miyagi are its main connections. Strangely, even though Julie Pierce, his second teenage trainee, was significantly more athletic than Daniel-san, Mr. Miyagi didn't show her the crane technique in the next Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi introduced other maneuvers to trainees, but they didn't match the crane. The Miyagi-verse has added new karate techniques since the Karate Kid. In the Karate Kid Part 2, Mr. Miyagi demonstrated the drum technique to Daniel-san and used it to defeat Chozen during their pivotal battle to the death. In Cobra Kai Season 3, Chozen taught Daniel a covert Miyagi-Do move that paralyzes the foe. Terry Silver, a member of the Cobra Kai, developed his own attack techniques and gave them the name Quicksilver. He also demonstrated to Kenny Payne a paralyzing solar plexus blow he termed the Silver Bullet. And yet, the crane kick, which is inextricably linked to Daniel LaRusso for all time, is the only new attack in the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai franchises that have been as memorable or had such a significant influence on pop culture. I will walk you through the instances in the Karate Kid movies and Cobra Kai where the crane kick move was put into use. Let's start with the Karate Kid's Daniel's crane kick against Johnny. Daniel's kick to Johnny at the end of the Karate Kid is considered to be the most popular and well-known crane kick ever. When the All-Valley Under-18 Karate Championship final was deadlocked, Daniel assumed the recognizable crane position to get ready for his decisive blow. In a moment of confusion after never having witnessed the crane technique, Johnny made the error of listening to his sensei John Kreese, who instructed him to charge in and secure the last point. Daniel successfully executed the crane kick and emerged victorious. Actually, a basic fact that made this so significantly remarkable was the fact that the fight was already out of Daniel's favor and that most people were not expecting such a powerful kick that, in just a strike, would turn the game around. I mean, Johnny was at the top of the game. Critically looking at the situation, there weren't many chances left for Daniel, but then the knowledge and the mastery of such a great skill made a big difference in that fight. They had no idea how much the outcome of Johnny and Daniel's life would be determined by that crane kick. After the 1984 All-Valley, as Cobra Kai Season 1 revealed, Johnny was never the same. He was plagued by LaRusso's illegal kick for the following 30 years. Indeed, Lawrence's desire to reorient his life after losing to LaRusso, thanks to the crane kick, was a factor in Johnny's choice to reopen the Cobra Kai dojo and accept Miguel Diaz as his first apprentice. In the Karate Kid Part 2, Chozen defended against the crane kick. The crane kick only failed once when Daniel LaRusso attempted it the very following time. In the Karate Kid Part 2, Daniel and Mr. Miyagi visited Okinawa, where Daniel met Chozen, Sato Taguchi's dishonorable nephew, who became a new foe. Chozen persisted in his hate of LaRusso even after Sato, who had intended to fight Mr. Miyagi to the death over just a slight from 40 years previously, changed and made peace with Miyagi. Chozen angrily interrupted the Obon Dance Festival and declared a battle to the death with Daniel-san. Daniel attempted to terminate the fight with the crane kick. The fight was far more brutal than his earlier encounter with Johnny, but Chozen was well versed in the move. Chozen used a feint to get LaRusso to time his kicking correctly. After a simple counterattack, Taguchi launched an attack on Daniel Daniel's leg, Chosen was ultimately subdued by LaRusso using the drum technique. Since the crane kick in The Karate Kid was so important, it seemed obvious from a narrative perspective that it wouldn't function in the sequel, requiring Daniel to utilize a different strategy to triumph. But the one time that the crane kick didn't work was just in The Karate Kid Part 2. It featured and was successful in the other cases. Next up, the crane kick was deployed by Miguel in Cobra Kai Season 1. Even before he told Miguel Diaz to unleash the crane kick in Cobra Kai Season 1, Johnny Lawrence had great pleasure in getting even with Daniel LaRusso. Lawrence was naturally furious that his estranged son, Robbie Keane, who is played by Tanner Buchanan, was competing for LaRusso and Miyagi-Do in the 2018 All-Valley Under-18 Karate Tournament, as Johnny and Daniel also registered their trainees. In order to go to the finals, Johnny handed Daniel the ultimate FU by allowing Miguel to perform the crane kick, which convincingly won him his bout. In the final, Miguel's victory over Robbie for the All-Valley Championship solidified Johnny's triumph over Daniel. When Johnny narrated the occurrences of the Karate Kid from his own perspective, he depicted Miguel as the hero and victim, and LaRusso as the antagonist and abuser. Miguel's usage of the crane kick in Cobra Kai Season 1 paid off. It wasn't until Miguel started attending the Miyagi-Do dojo in Cobra Kai Season 4 that he learned Daniel's perspective. Ironically, Johnny's merger of his Eagle Fang Karate School with Daniel-san's would teach him a newfound appreciation for LaRusso and Miyagi-Do. Next, Terry Silver was a victim of Daniel's crane kick in Cobra Kai Season 5. Crane kick once more. In front of the gathered Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do Eagle Fan trainees, Daniel's wife Amanda, their children Samantha and Anthony, as well as the girlfriend of Johnny, Carmen Diaz, LaRusso and Silver engaged in a man-to-man fight. The encounter was really a rematch from Cobra Kai earlier, in which Silver defeated LaRusso. This time, Daniel finally got even with his former Cobra Kai sensei, demonstrating the superiority of Miyagi-Do against Silver's violence and dishonesty. When Terry tried to attack him while holding the All-Valley Championship trophy belonging to Tori Nichols, Daniel's crane kick was his final act. It also resolved their almost 35-year-long feud after Silver had physically and mentally mistreated Daniel when he was a teenager in The Karate Kid Part 3 and continued to do so in Cobra Kai Season 5. It was poetic that Terry Silver was finally defeated by the crane kick, as Daniel-san had never defeated him in any manner, shape, or form previously. At the conclusion of Cobra Kai Season 5, Daniel eventually defeated Terry Silver by utilizing the crane kick. Finally, the movies feature the crane kick so well that they are iconic to it. The crane kick is so well known in the Miyagi-verse that it is frequently mentioned in both Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid movies. In addition to being used physically, Terry Silver said to Daniel in the Karate Kid Part 3 that the reason he taught him his Quicksilver method was because he could no longer rely on that crane nonsense. In the Jackie Chan starring 2010 film The Karate Kid, Dre Parker practiced the crane kick while making use of bamboo staffs for the exercise. The Japanese instructions for the crane were found on an old Miyagi-Do scroll during Cobra Kai Season 3, when Daniel visited Okinawa and spoke with Chosen. The karate practitioner balances by standing on their right foot, lifting their left leg, and opening their wings. The opponent will anticipate a left foot kick when the karateka hops on their right foot and kicks. The karateka's arms will drop to guard. Correct execution leaves no room for defense. Additionally, in Cobra Kai Season 4, Sensei Lawrence comically executed the crane kick position, which prompted Daniel to leave while Johnny and Daniel practiced their own karate styles. Well, I said it earlier, it seems an interesting stunt, but don't try it at home. You don't want to be landing the crane on a close friend or colleague. Drop comments and do well to subscribe to this channel for more entertaining posts. Thanks for watching.